Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back with me. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today in this video, I will answer 5 questions from final examination in subject English morphology. I will read the question and answer the question one by one. So without any further ado, let's get. So I will read the question for number one and answer the question for number one. Question number one is explain the distinction among word, lexeme, and lexical item as outlined in the textbook An Introduction to English Morphology by Andrew Cartier McCarthy. Provide examples for each and explain why understanding these differences is crucial in morphological analysis. So my answer for question number one is distinction among word, lexeme, and lexical item. Word form or token. A specific concrete instance of a word as it appears in text or speech, e.g., the cat sat on the mats. The and mats are distinct word forms. And for the lexeme, an abstract unit representing a word's core meaning grouping all its inflected forms, e.g., the lexeme read includes reads, reading, and read, past tense. And for the lexical item, a broader term for units stored in our mental lexicon, including single words, compound, phrasal verbs, and idioms, e.g., run, like board, look up, kick, kick the bucket. Cruciality in morphological analysis. Understanding these differences allow for precise of word formation, function, and the distinction between concept variations and actual occurrence, which is vital for studying word structure and the question number two. Based on the discussion of morphemes and allomorph, to what extent does phonological context influence morpheme forms in English? Provide examples and analyze how this phenomenon phenomenon may cause confusion in English language learning. So my answer for question number two, influence of phonological context on morpheme forms, extent of influence. Phonological context significantly influence morpheme forms in English, determining which allomorph variant form of a morpheme appears. Examples: plural s, pronouns s, cats, and z, dogs, or is buzzes, based on the preceding sound. And past tense: ed, pronounced walk, and played or eat wanted, based on the preceding sound. A negative prefix "in" can become impossible, ill, illegal, irregular. Confusion for learners causes confusion due to a lack of one-to-one sound-to-spelling correspondence, difficulty predicting rules, and challenging in distinguishing these variations in spoken. And for the question number three, compare derivational morphology with inflectional morphology. Is it always easy to distinguish between the two? Explain cases that may present ambiguity. So my answer for question number three is derivational morphology versus inflectional morphology. Derivational morphology creates new words with new meanings or word classes, e.g., govern is a verb plus man, it will be government noun. And inflectional morphology adds grammatical information to existing words without changing the core meaning or word classes, e.g., cat plus s, cats plural, and walk plus ed, walked, past tense. Ease of Distinction or ambiguity. It's not always easy to distinguish. Ambiguity can arise with forms that appear similar but function differently, or when a derivational process becomes highly productive and subtle. For example, some un prefixes can be derivational and happy, while others might seem inflectional if viewed as simply negating. Through tough grammatically they change the lexical item. Also, some S forms can be plural inflectional, possessive inflectional, or even part of a derf. The question for number 4. In the chapter on compound words and blends, explain the challenges of distinguish between compounds and phrases. Is it always straightforward to identify compound words? Illustrate with examples. My answer for question number 4 is challenges of distinguish compounds and phrases. Challenges distinguish compounds single lexical items formed by combining words like blackboard from phrases. Sequences of words with separate meanings like blackboard can be challenging because their written forms, solid, hyphenate, open, aren't always consistent indicators. Straightforwardness it is not always straightforward. Factors like stress compounds often have primary stress on the first element, Blackbird versus Blackbird. Semantic unity. Compounds often have a non-compositional meaning and syntactic behavior. Compounds act as a simple unit, help differentiate them, but exception exist. Examples: compound, greenhouse, a building for plants, not necessarily a house that is green. Phrase greenhouse, a house that is green in color. And ambiguity, hot dog, food item, compound, even if written open, versus hot dog, a dog that is hot. And for the last question, or the question for number 5, morphemes may undergo changes in form due to phonological, grammatical, or lexical factors. Provide 3 examples of allomorphs that are not solely phonologically conditioned, and explain their impact on word structure analysis. So my answer for question number 5, or for the last question, is allomorph not solely phonological conditions. Morphemes can change form due to grammatical or lexical factors, not to sound. Examples: grammatical conditioning, suppletion. The past tense of the verb go is went, not goed. This form went is an allomorph of the past tense morpheme that is grammatically conditioned, tied to the specific verb go, rather than phonologically regular. And lexical conditioning. The plural of ox is oxen, not oxes. The plural allomorph is lexically conditioned, applying only to a few specific words. Lexical conditioning, vowel change, or umlaut. The plural of man is man, food is feed. Here is here the plural is indicated by an internal vowel change, an allomorph of the plural morpheme which is lexically conditioned for these specific words, rather than the regular s or es. Impact on word structure analysis. These cases highlight that morphological analysis isn't just about sound rules. It also involves understanding irregular forms tied to specific words or grammatical categories. They demonstrate that morpheme realization can be opaque and requires memorization of exceptions, complicating the identification of morpheme boundaries and meanings. So yeah, that's my answer for 5 questions in final exams for subject English morphological. Thank you for your all attention. Thank you for watching this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.